So what if I still like VHS? I like quality, I say fuck all the rest.
You can take your fucking Blu-ray, shove it up your dick, I like Braveheart.
Bro, VCR's a shit, it's great freedom. And then I pop in the tape, popping up some popcorn. Oh shit, I can't wait.
Now I got a pretty pillow and a little red beer. I can't think of any place I'd rather be than here. We got Denzel in the Pelican Brief.
I wanna watch Jurassic Park cause the rappers are sweet.
Point Break with my boy Keanu
Don't
Reeves.
forget Lori Petty, straight rockin' the briefs.
Creep Show,
Warlock,
Twister,
True Lies,
X-Men,
Will Smith,
Ernest,
Bruce Lee,
Tom Hanks,
Ice Cube,
Hopkins,
Die Hard,
Brad Pitt,
Spaceballs, Nick Cage.
Splatcast back again. Check it, direct it. Let's begin. Party on, party people. Let me hear some noise. DC's in the house. Jump, jump for joy. Party over here with your hands in the air. Chicken derriere. These 3 words when you're getting busy. Brad, what is this? 4 words. Go. What's Splatcast, baby?
It's the Splatcast! Blah!
Oh, that is great. Yes, way
We
back.
may need to adjust the audio levels.
Peak sandwich right there.
Oh, I
My
love
ears are
a
bleeding.
I love a peak sandwich. Way back in November, Mike D, was on the Screamcast, one of my favorite podcasts. Really, let's talk about how much I love the Screamcast. I got to be on the Screamcast for the first time officially, okay, back in November. And part of my very professional, very fucking chivalrous experience at Screamcast was this very sweet introduction from a one Mr. Sean DeReger when he introduced me as Mike D from the Splatcast. And Brad tries to correct Sean. He tries to say, no, it's Splathouse. And Sean's like, yeah, Mike D from the Splatcast. It's like, bro, not every single fucking podcast ends with the word cast. Some of them are houses, other ones are homes, and other ones are PXs, apparently. I do not know what the PX is.
90% end in cast.
But to Sean's point, 90% do end in cast. We
Really?
did some short Google analytics, and we found out, hey, if we took splat, which most people are researching online for very different reasons than to talk about genre cinema, but if we took the word splat, and if we added the word cast to it, hell, magic would be born. And yes, here we are now on the world's #1 podcast network. That is true. We're on Nerdist now. Yeah, this is our debut. If you are not listening to us on Nerdist, then we said something wrong. Brad did something wrong on his end, and you're listening to us independently. And may independent podcasts live forever. But since we're not independently podcast right now, we're making big money, making that Splatcast money bigger than the Screamcast money. We could just say fuck you to all the independent podcasters out there, because we're big money now, dog. Bringing it to you with boss Chris Hardwick. That's right. You are listening to the Splatcast, but what the fuck is that? I do not know. We are about to figure it out. We had an assignment from Mr. Brad F. Henderson. Brad, what is the Splatcast?
So we thought about joining forces for quite some time, just because we all are kind of obsessed with one another, I think, hiddenly. But after this episode tonight, I think we're going to find out our true love for every single one of you in the room.
I think we found out your true love for Chris Hardwick, bro. That's what's going on. You got a hard dick for the hard wick.
I've been a singled out fan since I can remember. I have every episode on VHS and I watch them constantly. So anyways, I spoke with Mike and we were trying to think of a way to cross over our shows in order to make one mega show, but also have some kind of interesting hook because everybody fucking has a podcast and we both have podcasts.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? Isn't that crazy? So we decided to try to focus on franchises and then kind of expand from there. So basically our show will be considering many different franchises but not like the fucking popular ones like Friday the 13th and Halloween and shit like that, but more of the...
Oh my God, I love Friday the 13th.
You do, actually.
We should do it.
More like Alien versus Predator.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Oh, let's do Alien versus Predator next.
I was thinking Doom Generation.
Ooh.
Thank
now you're
you.
speaking my language. You are speaking my language.
Okay, so I'm really obsessed with Doom Generation now. But what we're going to be doing is number one, we're going to be focusing on kind of more underrated or underseen franchises. We will hit the popular ones from time to time, but for the most part, we're going to be picking the more obscure and weird ones or just unheard of, like our show today. The second rule, there's kind of rules to it, is that there has to be at least 3 or more. And we kind of have different segments. We also didn't want to pull our segments from our own shows and kind of rehash and just have like a legit both podcasts smashed together and you have to hear us do the same things. I think we're going to stay separate. We're going to try to do something new and see if it catches on. And I think with our personalities alone, we'll have something here. So we'll test it out.
And Sarah, if I was new to the show, if this is my first time jumping onto the Nerdist podcast network and my first time hitting on Splatcast, our inaugural episode, okay, who are these voices that we're listening to?
All right. Well, half of these voices are Splathouse, and that would include Mr. Michael Delaney. Say hello, Michael.
Hello, Michael.
Mr. Jim Rock Scheller.
That's pronounced Schiller.
Whatever. I like it better the way
Schiller.
I pronounce it.
Seashells Schiller.
And Mr. John Terrell.
Hi.
Hi. And then over on your guys' side, the Screamcast, we have BJ Colangelo. Is that how you pronounce your name, BJ?
I am a syllable away from being a Ninja Turtle. You got it right.
Yes. Mr. Sean Dreger
Yeah, hello.
and Mr. Brad Henderson. Representing the Screamcast over yonder. Actually, across the country from us at this moment, you are listening to a bi-coastal podcast through the power of the internet.
That's right.
Yes, this is magic. This is the future.
Well, but bi-coastal, and then we have BJ in the heartland.
I am in the heartland.
Right in Cleveland.
Really?
Yeah,
I
right.
had no idea you were in Cleveland.
Literally in the state that looks like a fucking heart.
Wow.
Yeah.
Heart,
That's where she be.
the heart of the heartland.
I'm right in the armpit. It's so nice here.
Before we jump into today's festivities for the Mirror Film series, the Mirror Legacy, I think is how I like to refer to it. Quite a legacy. BJ, I didn't prep you for this before the show, but BJ, you and your company, Sickening Pictures, you guys have something going on right now, right?
We sure do have something going on. So I have been working with a wonderful gentleman named Zach Schillwachter, working, living, loving, all of those things. And we have been sitting on this script called Powerbomb for the last probably 2 or so years. It's something that we developed with a man named Wes Allen. He's of the Blood Sprayer Productions, formerly of bloodsprayer.com, but that has then turned into a production company. And we are making a movie about the horrifying world of independent wrestling.
Yes.
And it stars the incredible Matt Cross, also known as Son of Havoc from Lucha Underground. He's also an American Ninja Warrior. He was on WWE's Tough Enough. He's kind of the coolest guy in the whole world. He looks like he's chiseled out of marble. I'm in love with him. He's fabulous. But he is our lead star, and we have an Indiegogo campaign running to kind of recoup some funds so that we can make sure that our movie is the best that it can possibly be and that we can pay for really good insurance because there's a lot of wrestling that happens in this movie. But that's what we're got going on.
So if I go to Indiegogo, what do I look up to hit that?
If you go to Indiegogo, you just have to look up Powerbomb. It'll be the first thing that hits. Or you can always go to sickeningpictures.com/IGG.
Hot sex on a platter. Ms. Sarah,
I've got a mortgage payment. If you guys want to send money to PayPal to
Well, hey,
Sean.
Bro, we're going to get to MXPX here in a second. We'll get to MXPX. We're 2 months out of celebrating women in horror, and we just heard from BJ Colangelo, and we have another female horror filmmaker here. Ms. Sarah Quakendahl, what do you have going on?
Oh, well, I think you might know what we have going on. So right now, splatters and splatcasters and whatever we want to call everybody here today, we just launched our own Indiegogo campaign for our first feature film as a production company. By no means our first filmed project, by no means our first project, but our first feature film called Blue Caveman, which is a rough adaptation of Ega and the Girl in Gold Boots. Super fucking excited about this project, but we can't make this happen without all of you. That's why we're going the crowdfunding route. So yes, please look that up on Indiegogo. Where can they find that, Mr. Delaney?
If they go into Indiegogo and they type in Blue Caveman, we're going to be the first thing that pops up. And now would also be a cool time to announce another thing that's happened in the last week, bringing Mr. Brad F. Henderson away from the Screamcast. He quit the Screamcast this week. I don't know if he announces publicly, but he's coming over to Splathouse Productions full time because we pay.
Where are we going to put him?
Over in that corner.
Yeah, right.
He's gonna sit on your lap.
No,
man.
I jest, but Brad is an amazing filmmaker himself, and he is on the other end of the coast, but he is doing everything in his amazing power to help make this dream a reality. I'm calling him an executive producer of this project. We haven't exactly figured out all the roles, but in my mind, he's helping Godfather this thing into the world. So thank you, Brad, too, for joining the team, brother.
Oh, what's happening?
Before we go any further, can I just suggest that we call our fans the Splat Packers?
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds kind of dirty, but
Wait,
it kind of
but
sounds
hold
Kind
on.
of very
No,
dirty,
wait,
Jim.
hold on, that's
I'm gonna pack some splat. You know,
It's also undercutting our Screamcast family.
Right, exactly.
We can't just say splat because that takes a... Huh.
Scatter plats?
scatter platters.
What
That
if we
sounds
just...
like
No,
catering or
we
some
should just
shit.
call our fans scat.
Yes.
They're scat.
Wait, we
You
need
guys
to
are
take a
scat.
vote. We need to take a vote.
That sounds like some kind of excrement from a feline.
It's
or
an excrement
something.
from an owl, bro.
It is
All in
actually.
favor of scat.
So Sarah says aye.
Let's call it night scat. Can it be night scat?
Night scat?
Yeah.
That's
All
like
right.
when you scat your bed?
No, but it's owl. Does that make sense?
No.
Dude, like they fly around at night. They scat at night.
Okay,
They're night scatters.
the owls are not what they seem. Okay,
I
Jen.
agree with you. Can we get into the movies now?
Let's get into the movies. Let's pause for a quick commercial break. Hello, everybody. I'm Mike D.
And I'm Ms. Sarah Quakendahl
Welcome.
to the Splathouse.
Splathouse Productions is a small group of Bay Area film, theater, and music artists dedicated to furthering the conversation around cult film.
Splathouse Productions has already shot and staged 3 full-length, hybrid, film and theater adaptations of some of our favorite cult classics. The Sadist and Ega in 2014 with Impact Theater,
as well as a sexadelic remake of 1959's Plan 9 from Outer Space last summer in 2016. All 3 earned critical praise, and we got a nomination for Best Video Design from Theater Bay Area magazine.
At the moment, Splathouse is neck deep in producing our weekly cult film-based podcast, The Splathouse, with our partners Mr. Jim Rock Schiller and Mr. John Terrell. Featuring special guests such as Wendy Roby,
Nice.
John Dahl, and Ethan Embry, just to name a few.
I will name more. Monster Vision's Joe Bob Briggs, as well as newer artists such as Creep's Patrick Bryce and Beyond the Gates' Jackson Stewart.
Awesome.
Fancy.
Along with our list of awesome guests, the Splathouse podcast has also been featured on the Screamcast, and most recently was named one of 2016's favorites on thedailydead.com.
So here's the deal. We're passionate about what we do, keeping the conversation around cult film alive. We're stoked that so many people love the work that we've done on Bay Area stages and now with our weekly podcast. And we need your help to keep this alive. Splathouse Productions is looking to expand its body of work with more stage adaptations,
Spider Baby,
as well as our first feature film, Blue Caveman, a loose adaptation of Ega and The Girl in Gold Boots, being the adventures of 2 star-crossed lovers that find a caveman in the California high desert and bring him along on a road trip to stardom. It has mystery, horror, and 2 more elements that have become synonymous with Splathouse Productions. Awesome original music and the choking hazard of comedy. Go ahead, show them how funny you could be.
So in order to make this happen, in order to continue to bring our love of cult cinema to you, we need money. Splathouse Productions is trying to raise 20 grand to put toward operating expenses, future hybrid productions, expanding the Splathouse studio, and our first feature film.
What's in it for you? Team Splathouse has designed several contributor levels, beginning with perks for as low as $5.
We've got limited edition Splathouse t-shirts and posters. We've got stickers. We've got producer credits. We've got ad space on the Splathouse podcast.
You're helping Splathouse take the next step. Follow us on Twitter at SplatHousePR.
Or contact us directly at www.splathouse.com.
And from the bottom of our hearts,
or heart space,
thank you for helping keep the conversation around cult film alive.
So our first film in this series, of course, is the first film in the series. Am I right, or am I double right? Huh?
Triple right, sir.
So Mir Mir came out in 1990 and blew away the box office. I mean, we're talking about billions of dollars that this film made. But not really. I remember first seeing this film when I was walking around in the video store, and I think the second one's called The Raven, right?
Raven Dance. Raven Dance.
I remember seeing them back to back, and Raven Dance. Thank you.
Raven Dance.
So, if I'm not mistaken, I think Raven Dance box had kind of like a lenticular cover. So you would move it and the raven would like pop up, or somebody like in the mirror in the reflection. And I always was like, oh man, it was like kind of a girl dressed like in her nighty-night clothes. So I was kind of like, ooh, I want to maybe see that because that might be some softcore porn. That didn't happen to the third one, which was completely off the charts. But so yeah, the first one, and it took me a while to actually get around to it. I just remember seeing the box covers, and finally, when it came out on DVD by Anchor Bay a few years ago, I picked it up and I watched the entire franchise. So it's an odd franchise, and we will get into that. The first film is very kind of straightforward 90s horror mixed in with a little bit of like 80s stuff. We have a teenage girl who is very like, they saw Beetlejuice and they were like, man, we have to take Winona Ryder's character and we have to recreate it for our movie. So this girl's name is Rainbow Harvest. Her real name is Rainbow Harvest.
Yes, it is.
And it's basically the Lydia character. Her name's Lydia in Beetlejuice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Lydia Dietz.
I was mostly directing that towards Sarah because she likes those really shitty like Karate Kid movies and stuff. So I figured she would know about Beetlejuice.
Oh, please. And yes, proudly know about Beetlejuice. Suck it.
She looks more like if Lydia Dietz was super into Boy George. Like, let's at least give her that.
Yes!
Yes! That's exactly what I thought.
Yes!
That's exactly what I thought.
Exactly. But you're missing, like, the Heathers connection, too. Like, there's, like, it is every movie that Winona Ryder made in 1989 that is represented by Rainbow Harvest's performance.
But she has kind of a disconnect that when Winona Ryder, even in those roles, was still kind of approachable. This girl doesn't have that.
It's true.
In terms of personality.
True. It's true.
Yeah.
Agreed.
She's just over there harvesting those rainbows.
So she moves in to her, new town, whatever, and she's of course the freak in school. And in this house there is a mirror. And this is when Julia Roberts comes into the movie.
Oh, shit!
And she torments this girl. So anyways, real life. real life, she begins to, I guess, what would you say? Like fucking, it doesn't, I guess there's some sort of possession stuff that happens. There's all these like weird accidents start happening around her, people to their death. And, you know, it loses its steam as far as the plot goes, I think, about halfway through, because I don't know if they knew exactly where they wanted to go with this. That's how it felt to me, is that, you know, this portal to basically hell opens up in a way, and all these accidents, all this shit starts happening, and people just start fucking dying. And the cinematography reminds me of Night of the Demons. So if we can take, like, that's, I think people are more familiar with, that's what the film looks like. It feels hot and sweaty all the time. In what Children of the Corn movie do they have the nosebleed scene? Because there's a nosebleed scene in this movie that fucking freaks me out.
I kind of enjoyed the blood nose scene, to be honest with you, but that's just me.
Well, no, the thing is, I remember seeing the original Children, or not the original Children of Corn, but that like 2 or 3, whatever sequel it is, where there's the nosebleed scene where the guy's kind of using the knife and like the wooden doll, and the guy's just nose starts bleeding profusely. That's what this is like, and that always bothered me. Like, it still gets me, but it has that kind of hot and sweaty and steamy look of the 90s. Yeah, it was probably, you know, this was filmed, early 1990, late 89?
Probably late 89.
Yeah, it's total fucking 90s horror, though. Like, it's not even hitting the 80s at this point. Like, this movie was more 90s horror than 1995 horror. Like, it just has, it wants to be everything. It doesn't know what it wants to be as well. It's just all over the place. Like the series.
Brad, speaking of being all over the place, I want to focus on your... Brad, speaking of being all over the place, I want to focus on your fear of nosebleeds for just a moment. Did you grow up in Florida?
Yeah, for the most part. I was born in Akron, Ohio.
Oh, okay. You guys particularly, your air is really humid, right?
Yeah. I've had a good amount of nosebleeds in my life.
Oh, you have? Because I always associated nosebleeds with like really dry hot
altitude.
So I just didn't know if it was something that
up in the mountains.
All right, very good.
You can also get it from being punched in the nose.
I mean, I think that's a real fear for everybody, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't like those kinds of nosebleeds.
My
nose
nose has never bled.
Can we talk about the backstory of the mirror for a second?
You can.
Thank you.
Do it.
So the backstory of the mirror, as I understood it, was that witches used mirrors to basically house their demons, right? So the idea is that this mirror is housing this demon that was the other of some witch from way back. Which is something that they play with a little bit in all of the movies, but then they kind of lose track of their own story. Their own mythology is lost within these films, but that, as I understand it, is what we're looking at in the first movie, right? Everybody?
Yes.
Yeah. I can see that too, but it's like I said, it loses.
I mean, that's what the old lady says.
They say it
That's what the old
specifically
lady
do
says.
say that in the first film. Yes, they do.
And they mention the Salem witches, so you know that it's true, obviously.
Yes. Salem, gotta be true.
But was it like? Do we think it was a witch that was like encapsulated in the mirror's essence or whatever, or was it like a demon that the witch brought to the surface or trapped in the mirror?
I'm thinking it's a demon, and that's where the possession thing comes in, because I think it's like a demon possession witch thing.
It's a witch's pet demon.
A pet, yeah, totally.
Yes, exactly. Well, the old lady says it, right? And there's always
Get your pet demon.
The old lady in the movie has to be right. Like, that's just the way that these things work, is that the old lady does the research and yes. Witches keep,
and then she dies for it.
Salem witches keep their pet demons inside of these mirrors, and she's being seduced by this witch's pet demon in a mirror.
There's a matrices for who is right in movies, and typically, if your gender falls towards female and your age aims towards, the summit, you are going to be correct.
Totally.
Yeah.
The summit.
Or the complete
was
opposite.
nice.
You could be an autistic young boy.
Like yourself.
Or a little more than autistic.
Is that a Dreamcatcher reference?
Yeah, I'm glad me and Brad are on the same page.
No, that's Sean. That's Sean.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Just saying, there's an all-knowing autistic boy in the second one, and he just really is kind of the one saying, "You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong," and then nobody listens.
We'll get to the
him.
boy in the second one, but he's not all-knowing because he doesn't know how to act.
And we're not at the second one yet.
Yeah,
so.
we're not there. So, what do we want to talk about for this first movie? What are our big takeaways from it?
I just want to jump in first and say the boyfriend of the girl who our Lydia character was obsessed with, I kind of loved him, and I kind of fucking wanted to beat his ass. He was kind of one of those characters that at some moments I was like, this guy's all right, and then other moments I'd be like, he's a chauvinistic piece of shit. I kind of want to slap him a little bit.
Who are other characters in movies that you've had that reaction to?
Oh God, a lot.
Is this like a Channing Tatum thing?
No.
Is it just like a hunky
Channing
jock?
Tatum, I probably wouldn't want to hit. I just want to tell him he's a piece of shit. Just verbal abuse, you know.
I just want to put quarters in his G-string. Is that wrong?
Quarters. Get a black eye from that one.
You snap the quarters
in
at
his
him?
cock sock.
Do a double where
You finger him right down.
Sarah's doing the quarters in the G-string, and I'm doing the verbal abuse at the same time.
Person. I did this to a stripper when I was 18.
Channing Tatum,
a male
coin
stripper.
slot.
Jesus.
So not that bad of a person. Anyway, pull us back in, Mr.
Wait,
Delaney.
are you really like so I did that.
I did.
Therefore, I'm not a bad person.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I'm glad Jim brought us back to the logic train on that one.
BJ,
Yes.
when did you first see Mirror Mirror?
The day before we were originally supposed to record this.
This is great. So you were like super fresh.
Oh, yeah, because I don't know if you know this, I'm a small child. This movie and I are the same age, so I completely missed this. This was not something that was being stocked in the video store or the Blockbuster when I was growing up, so this entire franchise was a blind spot for me. I'm just completely shocked that we haven't discussed Karen Black and her incredible hair in this movie yet.
Hell yes, I was just about to mention Karen Black just now.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about Karen Black.
Who's Karen Black?
She's the one with the creepy face, the mom.
Oh, the mom!
She's
Oh
the
my
mom.
God!
Yeah, she's been in and out of films all through the 80s.
Did someone just come at the Splathouse?
Yeah, that was John. We're cleaning it up. So then while we're cleaning up his splat in the house, BJ, can you school Mr. Terrell on Ms. Karen Black?
Oh, man. Okay, so Karen Black, otherwise known as that girl from a lot of movies in the 60s and 70s who played crazy people because she has kind of like slight wonky eye and like kind of weird teeth, but like they're straight, but they don't look like they should be straight, but they still are, and it is really uncomfortable to look at. More commonly known.
She's one of those really pretty, crazy looking people.
Yes.
Like in 5 Easy Pieces. Yeah.
She's more for people who aren't well versed in kind of like older cinema. She was the original Mama Firefly in House of a Thousand Corpses. She's wackadoo. But I love her. She's dead now, though, so, I mean, we're not going to see much more from her. But Karen Black in this movie is, like, full tilt Karen Black crazy. She is trying so hard to act like kind of like functioning mom, but is dressing, like, real sexy for some reason. She has probably one of the more gruesome demises in this film, but how did they get her? Like, that's what I want to know. Is this like the start of when she's like, hey, I kind of need money because I can't really bank off of stuff I did 20 years ago?
Hasn't Karen Black always done that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of her career.
Burn notice.
She was in It's Alive 3, Island of the Alive. So, I mean, she's,
Well, and she was getting all...
That's called a paycheck.
She was getting all dolled up because she was trying to seduce that Pet Cemetery dude.
Edward Furlong?
Yeah. That one.
No, Daryl. We're talking about Daryl.
So, Sean, you sent out multiple tweets about the pain you felt watching these Mirror Mirror movies. Now is your couch, man. Your psych couch to deal with it. So, to give us your perspective.
No, I'd never heard of these at all, and like at all. Like, I can't believe this is a series that has went by me and I never even heard about, especially like in the first one with Stephen Tobolowsky being in it, and what's his name? He's a character actor. I think he shows up in most of these. William Sanderson.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Daryl. Daryl.
Yeah, Daryl. Yeah. And
Daryl.
And no, in Mirror Mirror 3, a special actor shows up that I couldn't believe that he was in there. So there's like, little nuggets of joy to be found. But yeah, it was I didn't know what I'd gotten myself into.
Nuggets.
More along the lines as the movie series went along. I did enjoy the fact that I got the Winona Ryder Beetlejuice thing like right away. But yeah, I don't know. Like the first one and second one were not that bad. Semi-enjoyable.
I agree completely with that. No, number 1 was totally enjoyable.
And I did get excited that there is some mirror making out. That is always a plus.
John, will you tell us your thoughts?
Yeah, that mirror demon sex in number 1 was pretty tasty.
We should also take a moment now, before we move on, we should take a moment to note that all the official releases of Mirror Mirror are out of print. It was put out, I believe, in the year 2000, the first one, on Anchor Bay DVD. And then in 2004, they put out it is the gold standard of my DVD collection, but they put out a 4-film collection of the Mirror Mirror films, and that is out of print as well.
Box set.
It's a box set. Yeah, you have to slip that shit off. You slip it in, it feels good.
Slipping and sliding.
I think it's still like $40, so it's not that bad yet.
I thought it was like 60. Isn't it like 60?
Has it gone up? It's probably gone up by now.
Because no one fucking wants it. That's why it's cheap.
There's only 5. There's only 5 copies of it out in the world.
We're gonna get to this when we talk to part 2. But the producer of this series, Jimmy Lifton, has put the first 2 films on his official YouTube channel. So you can actually click over to Jimmy Lifton's subscriber page on YouTube and watch Mirror Mirror 1990 and watch the next film we're going to talk about, Mirror Mirror 2, Raven Dance. We'll be right back.
I believe they're also on Amazon
Stop,
Prime.
I already said we'll be right back. Stop it!
Raven
I said we'll be right
Dance.
back. We'll be right back.
He said it.
We'll be right back.
Said it'd be back.
We'll be right back.
Gonna be back.
We'll be right back.
Hello out there, fans of Lousy Weather Media. My name is BJ Colangelo, and I'm a writer and filmmaker out of Cleveland, Ohio. Along with my longtime collaborative partner, Zach Shillwachter, we're making a project called Powerbomb. Powerbomb tells the story of an independent wrestler on the verge of breaking into the big time. But he's contemplating saying goodbye to his dream in order to spend more time with his wife, a retired wrestler, and their budding family. But when our wrestler's biggest fan hears the news, he takes matters into his own hands to make sure that his favorite wrestler makes it to the top, by any means necessary. Our lead wrestler is played by Matt Cross of Lucha Underground fame, and we're currently running an Indiegogo campaign. For more information, visit our website, www.sickeningpictures.com/IGG. Thanks so much. Enjoy the show.
Rave unto the joy fantastic. It's 1994, and we are going to talk about Mirror Mirror 2, Raven Dance. This is an auteur effort. This was written and directed by the great Jimmy Lifton, who did the music for not just this film, but for the entire series.
Which, let me say, the music for the original is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's really
the
good.
Theme? Oh, it's great.
Really good.
Yeah.
It's very, like, Lynchian.
Yeah. In a very early 90s direct-to-video
sort of
way. Yeah.
Yes.
Mirror Mirror 2, Raven Dance. Not the Raven. Not To Raven to Dance, but Mirror Mirror 2, Raven Dance. It's about a mysterious mirror that's found hidden in a church orphanage, yet few realize its legacy of evil. When an innocent teen discovers that she is being stalked by her evil stepsister, the mirror's demonic power is again unleashed, as if we were to know. Anyway,
What the fuck are you reading?
as
Exactly.
the mirror gains strength from the blood of the damned, the ultimate battle between good and evil begins. The ultimate battle. Ultimate means final. Ultimate means last. No, this is the IMDb plot summary written by a user called The Voyeur. So I think we could figure out who The Voyeur is.
Evel?
Billy Drago.
Totally Billy Drago, because I'm gonna read you
Billy
because
Drago.
Mike D just stole my stick. I was gonna read you the one for 3, which has. Anyways, we'll talk about it. We'll
get to it when we get to it. But before we get to this, reading this synopsis, it did make me think, hoo hee hum. Don't I know somebody that has a podcast that would like to talk about churchy, mysterious things and powers beyond both good and evil? Not an ultimate battle per se, but perhaps a penultimate philosophical discussion. And is that person you, Sean DeRager?
Yeah, it's me. I started up a podcast a few years back that I called The Armchair Philosopher, and that was too much to type out. So, of course, taking a note from the band MXPX, I decided to do AXPX. So it's called the AXPX podcast.
Rockin'.
Because they were known as Magnified Plaid, and of course, you don't want to say Magnified Plaid all the time. So yeah, I totally ripped off their trick.
So
Magnified
the
Plaid,
AXPX, you just started a new season, right?
I just started a new season 4. Season 2 and 3 are very short, but I started this up when I went through a big old crisis of faith, probably 4 or 5 years back, and I kind of used it as my own therapy to kind of talk to other people and explore other ideas, and kind of go through this whole, I guess, journey and kind of understand other people and their different beliefs and different faiths, and it was cool. It actually helped. Like a year of that actually helped me purge a lot of shit out of my own, my own faith journey. And so yeah, it's always been in the background. So I decided to start it up again. I'm working on getting Stephen Tobolowsky on the show. He has a book coming out, and our paths crossed a little bit too late. I was hoping to get him involved for this podcast, but I guess, just doing a lot of interviews with people about different things and their beliefs and stuff like that. So it's fun trying to keep a light and tongue-in-cheek attitude towards religion and stuff like that.
Beautiful, man. So go check out the AXPX wherever you get your fine podcasts. But let's jump into Mirror Mirror 2, To Raven, To Dance, 1994, directed and written by Mr. Jimmy Lifton. So, we have, like I said at break, we do have an interview with the writer-director, Jimmy Lifton. So we are not going to spend as long on this film as we did the first one, but I do want to talk to you guys about the pedigree of this film. Because what's weird, Brad and I were talking off-air a couple weeks ago, is that there's even a Mirror Mirror 2 in the first place. So let's go around the room. Let's talk about how this connects to the first one, if we think it does at all, and how, yes, Sarah, your hand is up as if everyone can see you, but I can. So I'm calling on you. I've already given you the verbal high five. You may speak now.
So here's the thing, the mirror, the continuation of the mirror, right? What I found really interesting is that throughout this series, we have the same fucking mirror that is apparent.
Was there a mirror in the second one too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is a mirror this?
Yeah.
So it's the same fucking mirror, and yet it does different things, right? Like, so you'd assume that if it's the same fucking mirror, it'd be the same fucking demon inside of this mirror every single time. We do have this weird, like...
Fucking yeah.
Yeah! Where the fuck is the same demon?
Same fucking demon.
In this case, whatever the fuck it's supposed to be is a raven, appears in some sort of raven form.
And it dances.
And it fucking dances.
Well, I don't know if you'd be able to have the same demon after the second one because Mark Ruffalo penetrates him and they sprinkle away into the
You
darkness
are mixing
of
up
the
your
mirror.
mirrors.
No, it's the
sir.
second one, fool. It's Raven
No.
Dance.
Yeah, I know. I got you.
He penetrates that demon.
So
and
you're
they
saying a Mark Ruffalo penetration. Nix's demon. Is that
Also,
what we're...
this demon in the second one all of a sudden has the power of electricity.
It's very high voltage.
Let's hold on. Let's Sean, I'm going to go to you on this one because this one's super churchy, bro. But so what's going on here? We have an orphanage, we have a nunnery, we have what is this place, and what is our innocent girl doing there?
Well, she finds herself in this church orphanage. For some, I can't remember. It's not in my notes. I can't remember why, but she's kind of a little rebellious.
Family dies.
She's an orphan. She's an orphan. She's an orphan.
So she's stuck in this, she's stuck in this orphanage, has to follow down the path of Catholicism and, appease all the nuns and everything.
And there's no other children there.
And her brother is there too, correct?
Yes.
It is just her and her brother there because everybody else is out on a trip with the other nuns.
Right. So
even though we never see another bedroom.
Except Roddy McDowall and Hot Lips.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. So yes, that's what's happening. They're out on a trip with the other nuns, so they are the only children there.
Is Mirror Mirror 2 opens up with a band has snuck into a church, correct?
Yes.
They had not snuck in. They were there they had not snuck in.
Because of her.
No, they hadn't snuck in. They were there for
They were filming a music video.
Yes, for charity. For charity.
Okay,
so they were brought
okay.
there for charitable purposes.
For the church's sake.
Yes.
A really odd early cameo of Maynard James Keenan from Perfect Circle and Tool.
You're full of shit.
I am full of shit. You saw my face
Of
when I
course he's
fucking
full
saw
of shit.
I was like,
Jesus.
do I go with a Mark Romanek music video director reference or do I go with
Pay
Maynard?
attention to your shit.
You got to learn the body language of Mike. He did a little belly shake before he said that. That
did.
means he's about to tell a joke.
Like I'm old Saint Nick, my jolly old belly
Chuckle.
shake.
You getting your chuckle fuckery ready?
All I know is that a young hot to trot Mark Ruffalo shows up and seduces our young heroine, possibly to take her down to the dark side of Satan.
Sean, this is my favorite part of the movie, Sean. What is Mark Ruffalo's name in this movie?
Catholic.
Christian motherfucker.
He wakes her up and goes, "Hi, I'm Christian. No, that's my name." Like, there's no punctuation. He's like, this is going to get, like, if you could believe it, lady.
Like, Mark Ruffalo in this movie, like, I couldn't believe it was him because the acting was so bad. Like, I was... he was really bad in this movie, Jim. You know, compared to what you've seen Mark Ruffalo do.
Fucked up, Sarah.
He
God
was
damn.
terrible in this movie, and I love Mark Ruffalo, and I'm like,
Disagree.
oh, this is so early on.
Although
But
he
then-
did look
Everybody
uncomfortable.
does bad work.
Right, he did.
He looked uncomfortable a couple times.
Yeah, he looked super awkward.
There's a reason.
He's getting fucked by the demon.
That's the thing.
I
is
thought
what-
he was fucking the demon.
I thought he was the fucking demon.
Oh shit.
He is. It's a metaphor.
There is a good reason why Mark Ruffalo looks so awkward in this movie, and we'll get to that when we talk to Jimmy Lifton. But not only is this an early film appearance of Mark Ruffalo, it's literally his first
The
film.
only. Oh wait.
Oh no!
His only appearance, right? Oh.
You got it right. Ding ding ding.
Yeah, that's it. It's just Mirror Mirror and the Hulk, baby. That's it.
Mirror mirror in the nunnery.
BJ, throughout the movie, we see this hot to trot. I believe that's how Sarah described him. We see hot to trot Mark Ruffalo, and he's so mysterious. We're told that multiple times. Christian, why are you so mysterious? BJ, why do you think Christian was so mysterious? What was going on with Christian?
I think that he was not just fucking with the mirror demon, but I think that it's kind of like the Spice Girls 2 become one situation where he's taking on the attributes of the mirror demon because they're that close to each other. But I think Mark Ruffalo at the time, like as an actor, I mean, obviously I have not gotten to hear the lovely interview with James Lipton yet, but I think this is the same as like when Hayden Christensen and Ryan Gosling and all of them were on Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark? And they were all trying to be like, oh, this is my big break. I'm on this cool show and I'm the hot, cool guy. And I think Mark Ruffalo was trying to like really put that out. So maybe it's not even in the writing that he's supposed to become one with this mirror. And that was a choice that he made. I don't know.
Look, when you hold up Ryan Gosling's Say Cheese and Die, and you hold up Say Cheese and Die again with the other actor who's not Ryan Gosling, you could tell which one of them was going to end up fucking Sandra Bullock as a neo-Nazi at the height of his career. Come on now.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah. So when you watch Mirror Mirror 2, do you see the roots of the great Mark Ruffalo?
I don't, and that's why I was so confused. But by the time we get to 3, which we're going to talk about, he's improved by like leaps and bounds, and then I'm confused as to why he's in 3.
Because he fucked
like,
the demon.
He should go get a real job.
Well, because didn't the director love him? Isn't that what's going on?
Yeah. Okay, one thing. I want to go back and I wish we talked to James Lipton as well. Because BJ said we talked to James Lipton. We talked to Jimmy Lifton. If we could get James Lipton, holy shit.
Oh, I'm really good
Ruffalo.
at names.
The great Lee Strasberg.
But it's something, Sean, I think you were about to get into this, how we use characters over again in these movies. So the thing we haven't talked about is how there's some sort of weird space-time continuum. how whatever it always opens with a scene that seems to be back in the olden days, whatever that is, whatever era that is, and then we flash forward to the end of the movie and you see the main characters from what you think is, the contemporary time, reenacting whatever we saw at the beginning.
History repeating itself.
Totally, but it's not history repeating itself because it's like, ooh, were they supposed to be
influenced
them?
by the past? That
right?
Yeah, in a weird,
but they never exactly
dimensional sort of way
explain what their point is. Like whether it's just two people like reenacting the same like timeline over and over again, or if they're supposed to be different people, or if people just get trapped in this endless loop. And there's like a really interesting idea there.
Yeah.
That they never explore.
They do, and I get Jimmy Lifton to say what that is.
Okay.
And you guys aren't entirely wrong. But Brad, when we were talking a couple weeks ago, you were like, it's a fucking miracle that there's even a Mirror Mirror 2. Where does this one rank for you, brother? How do you feel about Mirror Mirror 2?
I have two answers. One is completely unrelated to the question. For some reason, when you guys keep mentioning about Mark Ruffalo and the demon fucking, all I can picture is take the ending to Prince of Darkness when the hand is going through the mirror and the demon hand is on the other side and they're grasping each other's hand. All I keep picturing is Mark Ruffalo's dick going through the mirror and the demon slowly caressing it. And that's how, okay. So, but anyways, how this actually rates for me.
That sounds like the worst glory hole.
And here's the thing is I was actually grabbing my arm and caressing it with my other hand during that. Like that was supposed to mean like you could see that.
That's true. Your nickname is not baby arm, it's middle-aged arm.
Oh God. This one ranks. Here's the thing: is like it's hard to rank them because they're so different. Like I don't know how many franchises that are just completely just fucking bizarre as this one, because it was like everything's just so jarring from one movie to the next. I mean, we have our first one that is kind of, we've already spoke about, it's 90s straightforward horror. Then we have this one that is almost like a full moon movie, it feels like, where there's a lot of fantasy.
Yes.
And like it feels like Charles Band was behind this thing, like a lot of circusy music, and I don't know, is that just that horror fantasy thing, especially like when she dances. Like she has her dance number, you know?
Like it had very similar feels to like the Bride of Frankenstein, like the Sting Bride of Frankenstein, or like Meridian. Yes, like, but you know what I mean? Like that, yeah, it had a very similar feel.
Yeah, it has that
to
fantasy
it was
level.
It was like Legend.
Jim has a contact high.
I'm sorry, but have you seen Legend?
Yes.
Excuse me. Can we not make a comparison to the devil dancing with the girl with the black hair now?
Yes, you're right.
Just saying.
But it ranks up there with me. I mean, it's like all of them I just enjoy because I tell you, I got to give the series credit for one thing, is that they didn't rehash the same fucking thing over and over and over.
other than that fucking mirror. Sorry.
Right. I mean, the mirror carries over, but it's the same thing as like a slasher. You know, it's a killer. The killer pops up at a camp or a fucking neighborhood and everybody dies. At least with this one, like the atmosphere changes. Like the first one's very atmospheric. How it's filmed, like it looks like it gives you kind of the creeps. It's got the gothic look. This one, it has that fantasy thing. Third one's erotic, like horror, and then the fourth one is like fucking Blair Witch 2 type shit.
It's erotic as fuck.
There's nothing erotic about the third one.
We're going to get to the third one here in just a moment.
I'm sorry, I got a boner. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, that's sad, Brad.
Hey, speaking of boners, can we talk about the nun that was
Speaking
also
of boners.
in... She was also the woman who pukes a bunch of cherries in The Witches of Eastwick.
Yep.
Yeah, she was great. I just wanted to point that out.
Hold on. The old evil lady in Witches of Eastwick who pukes the cherries, you have a boner for her?
Well, no, I didn't say I had a boner per se.
Jim said he
I'm
had a
not saying
boner.
that I'm hiding my boner right now. It's not under my belt or
I
anything
wasn't
right
saying
now.
that.
Do we need to find a good therapist?
I'm just saying that she's a great actress. And
She's a great actress.
she was in this
Okay.
movie, and we haven't talked about her at all.
Veronica Cartwright.
Veronica Cartwright?
Yeah, Veronica
Yeah.
Cartwright.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who's also an alien.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
she's
she
the one
is.
who gets
Oh, yeah.
fucking. She's like the third to last to die, second to last.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, Shawing.
she's crying through that whole fucking movie. She annoys the shit out of me.
So we are going to listen now to the interview with writer, director, composer, editor, producer, and actually he's an actor in the next film as well. So here's your interview with Jimmy Lifton. We'll be right back.
Why don't I like the girl I see? The one who's standing right in front of me. Why don't I think before I speak? I should have listened to that voice inside me. I must be stupid, must be crazy, must be out of my mind. Just say the kind of things I said last night. Mirror, mirror, hanging on the wall. You don't have to tell me who's the biggest fool of all. Mirror, mirror, I wish you could lie to me and bring my baby back. Bring my baby back to me. To me.
So joining us today is Mr. Jimmy Lifton. Jimmy wrote the theme song and composed music for the first Mirror Mirror film. He wrote and directed the second Mirror Mirror entry, the one we'll primarily be talking about here, Raven Dance. He also appeared as an actor in the third entry and produced the third and fourth entries of Mirror Mirror. How are you doing, Mr. Lifton?
I'm doing very fine, thank you.
Very good. So if you could give us a little bit of your background right quick, before you got involved with the Mirror Mirror series, tell us about how you came to filmmaking, or how, rather, filmmaking came to you.
Well, very quickly, I was a recording artist with Atlanta Records for a very short spot, and we produced and directed a lot of music videos at that time. And then from there, made a easy cross into filmmaking. Actually, I produced all of the Mirror Mirror movies. I scored the first one and second one and the fourth one. But actually, did I score the third one as well? I think actually I did. Anyways, but yes, that's how I got into those projects.
Very good. Can you tell us how you became attached to the first Mirror Mirror project?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I went out and put the project together, produced it, so we raised the money for it. Then I was fortunate enough to be introduced to two great writers, a sister act, as it were, Annette and Gina Cascone. They wrote this pretty cool script, Mirror Mirror. I knew the director, Marina Sargenti, because I had produced some music video with her and commercials with her. So when I got the project, then I hired Marina on it, and then we started to cast it.
And you were heavily involved with the casting process in all four of the films?
Yes. I was the director's always the deciding factor, but I did all the deals, so I guess I was in there somehow.
Yeah, one of the cool things about the Mirror Mirror series is its very eclectic cast, from Karen Black to Roddy McDowall, Mark Ruffalo, Billy Drago.
Yeah.
How did the offers go out to some of these folks to get involved in this series?
Oh, geez. I mean, we worked with some wonderful casting directors. Some of it was by fluke. I mean, really, at that time, Mark Ruffalo was just starting his career. And Mark actually came in and read for the first Mirror Mirror. And I wanted to hire him, but the director was not crazy about his performance. So we didn't have Mark in the first movie, though as soon as I took the reins in the second movie, I definitely hired Mark. And then he was there, subsequently in the third as well. Billy Drago, I've done a bunch of movies with Billy. He's just a great, great person and a pretty nasty image on screen.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
Roddy McDowall was probably my my most wonderful experience. I mean, just because Mark Ruffalo, I just didn't know that he was going to be big because he wasn't big at that time. So we had a great experience. But with Roddy McDowall, I was fortunate enough to not really know what I was doing directing, and he kind of helped me through the whole process, which was, God bless him for that.
Yeah, it's so cool. When you look at his IMDb page, this is quite literally the first feature film that The Incredible Hulk appears in.
Oh, is it? I've never actually looked that up. Yeah, so...
Yeah, he has a couple TV spots and I think a short film, but Raven Dance is the first one.
Yeah, and he's still the same. I mean, he still has that brooding delivery,
Yeah, I love that he's cast too in Raven Dance in kind of an off-type character, someone a little bit more unhinged, unfriendly. So tell us about
Unhinged. I like that.
Tell us about Mirror Mirror 2 Raven Dance. How that all came about, how you decided to take the helm on that yourself.
I just wanted to try some different things and bring Ruffalo on board. So I took the helm on that one. Wanted to do something a little out there. Some of it worked, some of it not so great, as a director's perspective. But definitely the most fun I've had in a long, long, long time. So great cast, as you stated. I mean, these guys were already, up there in their years, but already had success with them. So they were just like unbelievable on the set. Sally Kellerman was just, she is what she is up there, and she was fantastic. And we did a table read before the show at Sally Kellerman's house with Roddy McDowall and her. And that was like the best.
Oh, I imagine so.
That was absolutely the best. And then let's not forget William Sanderson, who was the toy maker from Blade Runner.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So William Sanderson and I became, actually no longer just because I lost touch, but for a while there we became very good friends. And he's one of these guys, if you remember in the toy maker, he's just interesting character, let's put it that way. Always felt like he was like right on the edge or could be pushed like right over the edge. So that's what we did in Raven Dance, because he was berserk in Raven Dance. There's a scene where we have a crow, and then of course we have a crow on a stick. So we have both, but and it's not a delicacy. But anyways, but he went nuts. It was just wonderful working with him and kind of like pushing the envelope. And so that was a great scene.
Oh, fantastic. Now, I'm just curious personally, when you watch Mirror Mirror 2 Raven Dance, during the opening credits, it never says Mirror Mirror 2 at the beginning of the movie. It's just only referred to as Raven Dance. Was this scene as something on its own, and was it kind of sequelized for home video, or did you have this anthology planned all along?
Yeah, I kind of, when I went into the number 2, I kind of had the anthology vision, but then by the time we hit 3, the only way we could get 3 off the ground is by calling it 3. So finance kind of took it at that point, or the ability to finance it. So, but really, I wanted to turn it into an anthology where they'd all be the Mirror Mirror stories. Like the common thread would be Mirror Mirror, but they would all have their separate identities.
Yeah, no, I'd really always appreciated that about the series, that it didn't always seem like a cash grab with the title just to, get fans hooked. the previous entries. There was always an easy entry point for new folks watching the movies. Now, what was your inspiration for Mirror Mirror 2? I know you kind of adopted a lot of the themes and the tone from the first movie, but the story itself, where did that come from, Jimmy?
Oh, I don't know. Long rock and roll nights, I guess. I don't know. Just, I mean, I'd love to say something brilliant about how, I was looking at a tree and it just popped into my mind. But, I mean, one of the elements, maybe some of the elements drove me and drove how the script came about. But I really wanted to do this whole macabre dance sequence that, to a waltz. I always had that in my head. So that was kind of actually one of the driving forces. And from there, it kind of turned into this story that, I like so many parts of it, but I'm very critical of myself on a lot of parts of it too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, we all are that have artistic endeavors for sure. What involvement did you have with number 3 besides producing? You do appear on screen, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I put it together. I'm a very good friend of mine who's actually I'm in business with in another venture right now. Virginia Perfilli directed that one, so I kind of gave her the reins on the vision and how to approach it. We already knew Billy Drago, and I had worked with Billy Drago on other movies I produced that aren't part of this series. Because I produced now 19 features and won 2 Emmys and 5 Golden Reels to date. And I actually have another film starting to shoot on the 6th of March. But in any event, so Billy is just Billy. We needed a Billy role, and he was perfect, and we were all friends at that point. So, anyways, Virginia did a great job. I loved a lot of things about 3.
Yeah, and you actually cast Billy again in part 4, and it's in an entirely different role.
Yes. Strange how that happened. He
Yeah.
got killed in 3, but he mysteriously re-erects himself in a totally different person in 4.
No, I love it. It's almost as if it's like a prototypical American Horror Story, how they use the same actors year after year in that show.
Yeah.
Think they might have took a nod from you, Jimmy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but look, I got to tell you, it's kind of like, when you start to make more than one movie, it becomes like you want to have your friends with you, because then that makes it just all that more fun. So, for that period of time, I mean, Billy Drago, we were all good friends at that time. So, so it was really nice.
So who controls the licensing rights for the Mirror Mirror series? Because it's always struck me as odd that there's 4 of these movies that feature so many Hollywood actors in them, and they're good. It's a good anthology, but it's so underseen.
Yeah, this is a classic example of distribution nightmare, or distribution quagmire, is a better word. So, not to get into a lot of specifics, but we sold the first one, split it up at that time. He did international with a group and then domestic with a group. And the people who took domestic, they went bankrupt, or they went, bankrupt is the wrong word, so in case anyone's checking out. Let's just say it changed hands, because I don't know all the details of what they went through, but when it changed hands, the entire library this company had, including us, got basically, it disappeared. I mean, not literally, but, figuratively. And then since then it was sold again. It's been one of those. So tracking the rights. So we don't have the rights to release it right now, which is unfortunate, really unfortunate, because obviously
it is unfortunate.
Yeah, because there's some great moments in these pictures for sure, and some great. I mean, there's some great actors and great performances that it's definitely worth seeing.
Oh, for sure. Anchor Bay put out a great set well over 10 years ago, but since then there's been no resurrection of it.
You got it.
Do you know if it is available streaming anywhere in the world? Because I believe part 1 is, but
possibly. Last I looked, which was, I don't know, I haven't looked lately, but a few months ago, it wasn't. I just saw lots of bad bootleg copies coming out of parts of Europe.
Yeah.
Eastern Europe, stuff like that. So
yeah, I own the set personally, and we've had to pass it around with my my crew, and we're having to get it into the mail to Southern California and Florida for this other podcast that's also going to be featured on our show. So we're trying to spread the love around, but we also want to keep it totally legal and get our listeners in on it too. Besides some of the great moments with your friends on the set, any other fond memories from the Mir series that come to mind?
Let's see. My favorite companion dog was with me on the second one, and I had to put him down after that. But I dedicated the movie to him. So that's probably my most touching moment. I dedicated at the end to Cesar, and that wasn't like, a guy next door is actually my dog. So
yeah, I was wondering who Cesar was. Spelled with Z's, right?
Cezarre.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. What do you have coming up next? You said a film starts shooting March 6th?
Yeah, I've got a film start shooting March 6th. Pretty nice one. It's a sci-fi apocalyptic type of thing. It's actually an anthology series. There are 3 great stories that are going in each one, with very much like a Twilight Zone feel in each one. Very good. I'd love to stay in touch with you guys on that one. We're just casting it right now. We got some nice bites. Very small ensemble cast in this first one. What else? So yeah, I'd love to keep in touch with you about those projects.
Oh yeah, we'd love to hear about it. And you also have, I forget how many Emmys you listed off, but you do a lot of sound work for television and film. Can you tell us a little bit about the work that you're currently doing in that domain?
Yeah, I mean, I co-founded a company called Oracle Post, and we were doing big films. So I got for an Emmy for Kung Fu Panda and Madagascar, the Penguins Madagascar, and then we also did SpongeBob SquarePants, and a lot of animation stuff. I did all the sound behind that stuff for years and years and years.
As a father of a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, I've heard a lot of your work, sir.
You probably have. Little SpongeBob himself.
So, Jimmy, if you don't mind, we are going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining us here today.
All right. I appreciate it.
Okay, so let's talk about number 3. Number 3, one of my favorite things was when I looked up number 3. I was trying to find a version of this anywhere before Mike D was able to hand me the DVD, and I looked it up, and it doesn't say horror anywhere on its description. It says fantasy pornographic.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, here we go. Here we
my
go.
money.
Right, and I'm like visions of boarding house start flashing through my head.
That description makes my mind go to much wilder places than this film allows.
So this film does not deserve the fantasy or pornographic portion of it. Something that we want to talk about today is like where the franchise derailed. And I'm going to have to say that it is with this film. I will read you the description off of IMDb, and then we can talk about who wrote this description because it has no basis in reality. So it says, a young man discovers a mysterious mirror and begins to have disturbing visions of forbidden passion and brutal murder. But when he also finds a beautiful woman back from the dead, and a detective with a thirst for vengeance, the real terror has only just begun. The mirror sees all. But what shocking secrets will it reveal? Question mark by the voyeur. Now, what has this person seen this movie?
I think the voyeur made these movies. I think that might be a handle for Jimmy Lifton.
Really? Because what about that describes the movie?
Well, Billy Drago was much younger.
The young man thing, right? The young man portion of it. I'm like, so first of all, so here's the actual plot line, is an artist moves into the house of his his murdered mistress or disappeared mistress, right? He moves into her house knowing that her husband has gone missing, that she's gone missing, intentionally moves into her house like a fucking creeper. As we discover in the film, he knows that she performed like these witchcraft ceremonies in front of this mirror as part of like some, what is it called? Like erotic witchcraft. What is that called?
I don't know. It looks like you're a beetle playing bass when you're doing your erotic move.
I'm rubbing my fake
called
boobs
X
that are
craft.
apparently out on the sides of me. So some of my favorite things about this movie, the movie that derailed the franchise, if that's at all possible, are the sex scenes. The sex scenes that are like super Skinamax and how they always have sex in the same position.
They were your favorite part of the
They
movie?
were my favorite parts.
Wow, all right. That
They were
says
my-
a lot about this movie.
It's how you imagine sex when you're like 13 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And
you just, we're naked and we're just rubbing up against each other.
exactly.
Whoa.
Exactly.
My boner I lost my boner. It crawled up inside my body.
As well you should have. Like saying
You're
you had a
welcome.
boner about this movie concerns me about your sex life, Brad.
No, I did. I got tired of. No, I think Sean's.
Oh, that was John.
No, I think.
That's them like rubbing they didn't even kiss. They just like were rubbing their mouths against each other. Just like.
Not only did they kiss, their tongues looked like when the
Oh,
snails
God,
are
it was-
fucking in that movie Microcosmos, that French nature documentary, when the fucking snails fuck.
But it was just fucking our friend, how do you say his name? Drago?
Billy Drago.
Billy Drago slithering his tongue into Monique
The
Parent's
antithesis of Chuck Norris.
mouth. I mean, it's
Boner's back.
It's just. And let's talk about. I want to. So there's something about Monique
Okay,
Parent.
hold
that
on,
much
Sarah.
like,
We need to talk about one thing.
What?
Do you want to talk about? Just pick one thing. What are we
I
going to
want
talk about?
everything.
Sexy Mark Ruffalo.
Sexy Mark Ruffalo. No, I don't even want to get into that. I want to talk about Drago.
Okay,
I want to
do
talk
it.
about
Come
fucking
on, I
Drago.
see it in your eyes. I see it. Spit the Drago game. Let's do it.
So I'm
Billy Drago's eyebrows.
I'm going to read to you the description of Drago on IMDb that I am sure that he put up himself. Drago is well known for his villainous parts. He is renowned for his rugged yet scary looks and evil smile.
Villainous parts?
Right, exactly.
Like wieners?
Exactly. His rugged yet scary looks and evil smile.
He just
Okay,
stole that
so
from Willem Dafoe's.
Is that signed off as the voyeur also?
I wonder.
The voyeur.
No, there's no sign
Who
off.
is the voyeur?
I don't know, but it sounds to me like when I think of the
Drago is
voyeur,
a dedicated actor who has produced an instructional acting video with his late wife.
yeah, cool. So when I think of the voyeur, I don't think of somebody who's just like super into movies. I think of it like the guy who talks a couple into having a threesome and then
Exactly.
sits there in the corner and jerks off the whole time.
Because that's what a voyeur is.
Yes.
I thought that was a cuck.
Is that the dictionary?
No, that's not a
term?
cock. Get out of here, man. That's a conservative.
And we're back. Brad, I want to hear your boner game, bro. Talk to us about your boner in this movie. And then I want to hear about BJ's lady boner. And then I want to hear about Sean's lady boner. So let's do it.
Oh, no boner happened. Invertedness happened with me.
Exactly. That's called a lady boner
no.
when it inverts, bruh.
It's those eyebrows, Brad, isn't it? It's Monique's eyebrows in this
It's
movie.
the eyebrows. It's the eyebrows.
No. What gives me a boner about this movie is that the sex scenes, yes, they do take in the same position. But I like how she's on his stomach rather than his pelvic region.
Yes.
Because Drago's so big and long, he can reach that far into her anus. So she has to ride up near his face because he's just pounding the shit out of this woman.
You have this as buttus coitus.
Yes, I did not imagine this as
I
anal
didn't see
sex.
buttus coitus.
Wow,
but
Brad.
opening, like, open for a rewatch now.
Brad knows how to overthink
Does
porn.
everybody have a boner now?
Everybody.
My basement is so flooded right now. Like, call a plumber.
So, BJ, tell us about your femboner.
I like to refer to it as a flooded basement. And it's It's the eyebrows, man. Like when I think sex appeal, I think strong eyebrows that don't necessarily match the hair on top of your head, and that's Billy Drago's got that going on in spades in this movie.
Oh my God, his wig. Is that a wig?
I don't know if it's a wig or if it's definitely a piece. For sure, because if that's his real hair, we need to send him some conditioner.
Piece of dick.
Sean, what's doing it for you? Oh,
BJ's
sorry.
not
BJ
done.
BJ is not done. That basement is flooded. All right.
Flooding.
We're building an ark over here just so we can all survive.
Hopefully Noah's not home with Sean.
This is definitely the one, I agree, that makes it kind of go off the rails, but I don't know if I think it goes off the rails in a bad way. I almost wish that the fourth one would have went further in the same direction as the third one, because then I think it would have just turned into like Dr. Caligari, like sex nonsense, and that would have been wonderful.
I agree completely. If it went even deeper into the actual like pornographic, I would have been totally down with this movie.
Yeah, and Drago can do that because he's so big.
Sean, where is your dick at?
Oh,
Oh,
Robert's
no,
here. Okay,
children.
go.
Children.
Woohoo!
Say hi.
They're back.
We're back. Let's just do
Hello.
it. Hey, buddy.
Hey,
Hey,
Dad.
Noah.
Daddy better not be talking about naughty things.
Daddy better not talking about naughty things.
Yes.
Go play. What was I saying?
We were talking about your boner for this movie.
Yeah, where's your boner at?
No, I was a little bit concerned because this wasn't The Voyeur directed by Tinta Brass. So right then I was like, Tinta Brass ain't involved. I'm not sure if I can really have anything to do with this. Because there is a Tinta Brass film called The Voyeur.
Cool story, bro. Tell us what happened to your penis when you hit play.
What? Well, nothing happened at all. The way that I watched this was interesting because
Sean, your wife doesn't listen to the show. You could tell us what happened to your penis when you hit play.
nothing happened.
Why are we even here? What are we doing
I gotta
here?
tell you guys how I watched this
You
film.
sound really embarrassed about it.
Quiet Coyote, everybody.
Listen, Quiet Coyote. The version of the film that I found was sped up like 2 times. Like everyone talked like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
That was the version Mike D sent us.
The image was like mirrored. So all the writing was backwards. So I was disoriented all the way through this film. I will say though that who's the actress? Is it Monique?
Monique Parent.
She's hot to trot. So
Really? See, once again, I was thinking that like Jimmy Lifton has a thing for women with weird faces and weird eyebrows. Like there was something like she is a beautiful woman in real life. Like I looking up pictures of her, she's absolutely like insanely beautiful. Now has like this long silver like sexy hair, but there was something wrong with her face.
God, Sarah.
In this movie.
Fucking shade.
Likes them brows,
It
bro.
was those eyebrows.
This movie was just 2 people with eyebrows.
Eyebrowing each other.
maybe I got a thing for eyebrows. I don't know.
It's got that amazing scene where she's wearing like the high-waisted pant, like the opening where she's in like the high-waisted panties, with like the silk over her ass. Like I don't know how else to describe it.
Sounds right to me.
Why do I remember these things?
High-waisted panties.
And she has the knife behind her back, and her boyfriend comes in off the set of The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, and he's like, "Are you playing with that mirror again?" And she's like, "Yep, I'm playing with my mirror." And let me talk about him for a second. Look, one of my favorite things, John came over to watch part 4 because I had a physical media copy, and I set up a big screening of it in our dentist office chairs or whatever the fuck we watch in that Splathouse over at my place. But I was like, no, you have to watch this Mexican drug dealer boyfriend. He he keeps trying to shoehorn in pop culture references. And like every scene that he has, his first scene, he's like, stupid is as stupid does.
He does.
And
you
then
know who he is, right?
And then his next scene, he comes in the house and he goes, Lucy, you have some explaining to do. And then his next scene, he's fucking dying. His guts are hanging out, right? He's shot, and the FBI guy's like, you know, these guys have badges, and literally the motherfucker says, badges. We won't need no stinking badges. I'm like, okay, you got TCM. We get it. You're cool.
That's not him, though. It's not him that decided to say those lines.
It's gotta be.
It may have been.
No,
you never know.
You know who he is? He's the dude. He's the dude from The Offspring who says, "You gotta keep them separated." That's that dude.
Wait, you know you're
Is
being
it for
100%?
real?
Everything I say on this show is totally true.
Wow.
I don't know about that, Jim.
He does do a ton of voiceover work. Like he was the Ghost in the Shell, Assassins. It just goes on and on and on. Fallout 4. Like, this is what he does. No, it's what he does. Is he primarily does voiceover work for video games with probably really offensive accents.
Gotta keep it separated.
As you just heard in the Jimmy Lifton interview, he said he wanted to bring Drago onto the series because he was just great friends with Billy Drago, and why wouldn't he bring a great friend of his onto a movie set so they could hang out? So my question is, why would you bring your great friend onto a movie set where you just gonna see him fuck?
The movie's called The Voyeur.
Oh, and so do we think maybe
Your name's Tommy Wiseau.
So do we think that The Voyeur, like, this is a meta subtitle? The Voyeur's just referring to Jimmy Lifton's
I think it must
behind
be.
the scene. I don't know.
Because there's no voyeurism in this film. There's no voyeurism. Nobody's watching other people fuck.
Or is it the mirror that's the voyeur?
Ooh. But doesn't the mirror represent Jimmy Lifton?
No.
No, not at all.
Now, was Jimmy Lifton involved with Mirror Mirror 3? Because I'm not seeing that.
Jimmy Lifton is in Mirror Mirror 3. He produced Mirror Mirror 3, and he wrote the music for Mirror Mirror 3.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. It was directed by Rachel Gordon and Virginia Perfili.
Who I believe one of those was Drago's wife.
His late wife that he made acting videos with?
Yes.
Now, when they made the acting videos, was she already dead?
No, when they made the acting videos.
I want to know these questions.
These
answers.
questions are important.
We are about to move on to Mirror Mirror Volume 4, a.k.a. Reflections. We will be... All right, we'll be right back.
With our reflections. Greetings, Splathouse, Screamcast, and other genre film listeners. This is Jim Rock, and I want to let you know that next week, the Splathouse podcast will be dropping a new episode on a 1985 classic called The Legend of Billie Jean. That's right, starring Helen Slater and Christian Slater. Are they related? Are they married? You'll just have to listen to the show to find out. Now, we've been on a short hiatus for the past month, and there's a very good reason for that. The Splathouse is raising money to make its first feature film titled Blue Caveman. If you like what you hear on our show, you'll love what we do on the big screen. Visit our Indiegogo page and search Blue Caveman. There, you'll find a plethora of sexy perks like Splathouse shirts and hoodies, as well as a Blu-ray of our film, Blue Caveman. Thanks so much, and enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, so we've got Mirror Mirror 4, also known as Reflections. Now, I have two descriptions of this movie. One of them written by our friend The Voyeur. One of them written by somebody that did not disclose a name. I'm going to read them both, and I'm going to see if you can figure out which one came from The Voyeur, and I would also like to know which one you think is more accurate. The first description. A homeless man possessing a passageway to hell recruits unhappy teens at a rave party. Or...
Not The Voyeur.
Or...
Wait.
Quiet Coyote.
As a storm rages, 5 desperate people are caught in the mirror's power to reveal lost souls, broken dreams, second chances, and some very strange sexual vengeance.
That's the voyeur. That's the voyeur.
You are correct. That is 100% the voyeur.
That's the corner masturbator.
But which of those two descriptions is the more accurate one of what actually happens in this movie?
The first one.
Agreed.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
Agreed wholeheartedly. I don't know if the voyeur has actually seen these movies, but when looking at his IMDb profile, the only 3 summaries he's ever written are Mirror, 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 Mirror 2, and Mirror, Mirror 3. And I don't know how he's credited for Mirror, Mirror 4, but he somehow is. So I'm assuming this is somebody involved in the film because that's all they've ever done on IMDb.
So what we're witnessing is Jimmy Lifton's attempted explaining what he wanted these movies to be. That's what I feel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that Mirror, Mirror 4 quickly goes from the 90s sort of style of the original ones and thrusts itself into the new millennium in a very, very big way. The way that it's shot looks very much like everything that came out in the early 2000s, kind of like the disturbing behavior is still 90s, isn't it? Or is that?
Yeah, that's 90s.
That's 90s.
That's still 90s. So it's got a little bit cleaner than films like Disturbing Behavior, but not quite, ultra realistic, which is what everyone seems to be chasing now.
Is that the high school movie that's got that one really good song on it?
Yeah, by the Flies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Got You Where I Want You. Yeah, James Marsden is in
Oh my
Disturbing
God!
Behavior.
Can we just talk about him now? You're listening to the Marsden cast. Oh, I just watched him on 30 Rock again. Oh.
Tuck it up, Mike.
So this movie is kind of a mess. It's directed by Paulette Victor Lifton. So that's either his wife or his daughter or his daughter wife, whatever we would like to consider her to be. And it does have PJ Souls in it, who I love very dearly.
Totally.
But I think if there's anything that connects Mirror Mirror 4 to any of the other Mirror Mirrors, it's that it's another movie in the franchise that has kind of a washed up old horror icon playing someone's mom. So we have a connection.
That just made me
and,
sad.
And Drago, right?
Yeah, Drago's back.
Yeah, Drago.
Is it Drago or Drago? I mean, is this like a
Sorry,
Manos thing?
whenever I
or-
hear the Drago, I think of Yvonne Drago and Rocky. So.
But even that's not pronounced Drago.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm looking at pictures of Paulette Victor Lifton. I'm assuming it's his daughter.
Are you masturbating?
You're assuming, but look at her birth name. Look at her birth name.
I'm assuming.
Lifton is added on later. So maybe he just adopted her.
Oh.
Holy shit, you guys are watching season 5 of BBC's Sherlock unfold right here.
Adopt a wife.
Adopt a wife. Thank you, John.
Okay, so what's really going on in part 4 here, Sean DeRager?
Part 4, I don't know, a bunch of friggin' ravers or whatever are caught in this labyrinth of a warehouse or something shit. And they're all assholes except for one girl. And she's getting seduced by some crazy, weird, homeless guy.
Known as Billy Drago.
And it gets creepy.
And rapey. He's the rapey man.
It is very rapey. There's a few rapey scenes in it. And I did not like anyone in any of the characters.
Wait, hold on. Stop, Sean. Hold on.
Except for the one girl.
Hit the brakes. Sean, you did not like the Scottish woman at the beginning of the movie who finds the mirror and starts fucking dancing with it and flirting with it like she's fucking Billy Connolly and head of the class?
Hold on, I must have forgot to take a note on that. Hold on, let me
this
check
is
my
a
notes.
beautiful mirror.
Oh, I love you so much.
You make me look so beautiful. I guess she's Irish.
Head of the fucking class? Really, dude?
Yeah. Head of the class. Not the Howard Hessman head of the class, the Billy Connolly. So oh, fuck my butt. All right, keep going.
That's why
Sorry,
Sean's
Sean.
leading this segment.
Keep going.
No, I mean you're stuck in this place with all these people you don't really like, and they're trying to get out, and I don't know. It's a step up from 3.
We can't get out. There's a storm.
Well, yeah, because there's a storm. But I mean, yeah, they're like locked in or something.
There's a nice
They can't find their way out.
There's a tornado.
What a rapey.
It's a hurricane.
It's a hurricane. Sorry.
A nice little a lot of rape jokes in this fourth one.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the one time that our main character, I can't find her name. For some reason, my IMDb just stopped working, so I can't look anybody up. But for some reason, her and her boyfriend, all their major conversations all happen on one bed with one camera angle.
Well, because he's supposed to be dead. Like, it's established at the beginning that they discover this mirror and that a zombie comes through it, a zombie demon character thing, which, spoiler alert, is Drago, comes through. And we are led to believe that he attacks and kills her just became fiance.
He has to find shoes first.
And he doesn't find his shoes, and then he gets attacked by a zombie ghost demon thing that comes out of the mirror.
It's Mark Ruffalo's baby. Oh! Because he fucked the demon.
Yeah, from the mirror glory
This is the
hole.
baby.
Baby Ruffalo!
This is the Ruffalo baby.
And the actress's name that you're looking for, the lead character's name is Annika, and the actress you're looking for is Kim My Guest.
Kim My Guest. All right.
Who also is a voiceover actress who does a ton of video game work.
Wow.
Weird.
Super weird. So Billy Drago, and I was watching this with John, and we were really trying to decode it at the rewatch. And to me, Billy Drago for what, like 3/4 of his appearance in the movie before it's revealed that he's essentially the big bad, he's playing this like he is the rapiest David Carradine as Kane from Kung Fu, like fucking ever.
But he's
like,
the second rapiest person
No,
in the
yeah,
film.
he actually, Sarah's absolutely right. He's like smooth rape.
He's
and these
smooth
other
rape.
guys are like Cosby rape.
Like there's the one guy is telling his friend that this is how you deal with chicks.
You just tell them what no means maybe.
Exactly.
You tell
Like,
them they want it, really.
It's real creepy. It's real fucking
they
creepy.
corner a girl and stuff.
Yeah, so comparatively,
I don't know. I thought he was always one scene away from snatch this condom from my hand, grasshopper.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to think of when this movie was made, though. Like
2000. We thought about that. Keep going.
rape was really trending at that time. It was
my
big.
God.
See, and that's the thing is like what Jim, what I'm gonna pretend Jim is saying is that this was
Rape
something.
was really hot back then.
No, but this was an issue that people were actually like trying to address in movies, and so I feel like
Well, yeah, 'cause if it was rave culture, yeah, for sure.
totally that they were trying to address like rape culture and doing a really horrible job at addressing it. A bad job.
A little heavy-handed, a little bit.
I also felt this fourth film felt kind of like an extended Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode.
A bad Buffy
I just have to
episode.
say that.
Like a straight-to-video,
Exactly.
terrible adaptation of No Exit version.
No.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brad. You said no.
Shut up. Even though I like it, it's very Blair Witch 2-ish to me too.
Oh.
Oh, I had to leave the theater.
Like it has.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I did. I left the theater because I was too scared. Blair Witch Project 2. Did
So
I
it-
say that was a weenie?
Yeah, and it's a direct contemporary of Blair Witch 2. They came out the same time. I think one of them hit theaters, and one of them just hit Jimmy Lifton's VCR. But yeah.
Ouch,
Right in-
man.
right
that
in
is
the tent.
too fucking soon.
Well, we were talking about a Jeffrey Donovan movie, so I wanted to serve a burn notice. You guys get? He was on USA Network.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We know the show.
Wait.
You got it?
Isn't that your second burn notice joke?
Yeah, it is. When something works, you keep doing it. Burn notice. So, BJ, can you talk now?
Yes, I can absolutely talk now. So I think it's going to be a stretch. I might get some gasps for it. I think this one might be my favorite.
Oh!
Because
Oh, yeah.
I love that it reminds me, maybe it's the rave reference, but it reminds me of kind of like the subplots of Freddy versus Jason. All of the characters are wearing all of the outfits that Daniel Harris rejected for Urban Legend. And it's shot and lit the same way as The Rage Carry 2. And all of those things appeal to me on like a very core level. So I had a fucking blast with this one, and I didn't have to watch Billy Drago have sex. So that's a perk for me.
Always a plus. Let's just roll into one of the major talking points that we wanted to at least get out on each of these episodes is we do want to go around the room and find out what everyone considers to be the film that killed the franchise. That's what we wrote down. But now that BJ is spitting love for Mir 4, maybe we should go around and say which one we love the best. Keep this shit positive. There's so much negativity in the world today. Let's keep it positive. Sean, what's your favorite Mir film?
Just as we discussed earlier, my whole draw towards religious horror, I probably liked the second one the most out of it would go Mir 2, Mir 1, then Mir 4, and then Mir Fuckfest.
The voyeur.
Yeah, our hashtag FF is going to mean something entirely new when we talk about part 3. Sarah, how do you rank
Wait.
these? What?
FF, what does FF mean? Whenever I put FF, it means Fuckfest.
Follow Friday.
Whenever I tag all of you guys, it means Fuckfest Friday.
Oh, I thought it was Fist Freddy, like a reference to the great Tom Green film Freddy Got Fingered. I thought we were fisting Eddie K. Thomas now.
Oh.
Yeah. Sarah, how do you rank
I've
these?
gotten the wrong vibe from a lot of people.
Okay, I would say 1, 4, 2, 3. Because I agree with BJ that it took me back. So this film came out in 2000. I graduated high school in 2001. So for me, like, the outfits that they were wearing were very nostalgic for me, right? Like this whole like raver culture, because I was a bad kid. Like even the outfits that the one like in quotation marks slutty girl was wearing. There was something super nostalgic about it and the way that it was shot and all of that. So number 1, the first film, because there was not a whole lot wrong with it. It was just not as interesting as it needed to be successful, right? And then 4, because it made me all nostalgic. 2, because it was fucking cracked out and weird. And then 3, because it was boring. Yeah, there we go.
Harsh words. Mr. Bradley F. Henderson, how do you rank these, brother?
I would say 1, 4, 2, and 3, which I think matches Sarah and BJ. Or BJ picked 4 first, so that matches Sarah.
We agree on something.
1, 4, 2, 3.
Yep, that's it.
Yay!
Holy shit!
Don't expect it to ever happen again.
My God.
What do we call them? Scatters?
It won't happen again, scats.
Splat Packers.
BJ, we'll get to you in a second. I'm going to go to another Splathouse. I was just thinking out loud. John, how do you rank these, my brother?
So I would probably, it's hard because like Sarah said, 1 is watchable, has very enjoyable moments, but is not interesting enough to really carry a film. 4 is a tremendous pile of what the fuck, and it's hilarious. So, you just don't know where to go. I think I'm probably going to go 4, 1, 2, 3. Bam. And I do think 4.
Oh, shit.
And I do think 4, even though it's my favorite, is probably the one that killed it all.
Yeah? We'll get to that in a moment. Jim Rock.
Yeah, I think that I would say that we should start with number 2, because that's definitely the best of the films that I watched. Then we'll take it back a notch, start on number 1. So we'll go from 2 to 1. And then, because I haven't, quote unquote, seen the 3rd or 4th movies, I would say we should end with number 4. But before that, go to 3, so that the boobies keep it alive, but we end with some what the fuck. So yeah, 2, 1, 3, 4.
3, 4. All right. BJ, we know that part 4 is your number 1, but where do the others rank?
So I go 4, 1, 2, 3. That's where I'm at.
So that's John. Yeah.
Yeah, we matched.
Yeah.
We just won a memory game that way. I rank them. I think 4 was the one that I had the most fun with. 1, I think, was probably the best made as far as an actual movie. 2 was a little wackadoo, but still fun. I have a thing for nun movies and anything to do with religious repression. I talk about that a lot on Screamcast. It just fascinates my brain. And 3 just was kind of a hot mess. So I ranked that my last one. But I did realize something. This franchise is overwhelmingly directed by women, and that's fucking cool, I think.
It's super cool. I'm going to jump in. Here we go. Like BJ and John before me, I do believe that 4 is my favorite. These are, of course, favorites. I'm not ranking which ones are the best films per se, but the ones that are my favorite. So I just want to say that. That said, this is very unpopular.
3.
I'm going 3.
Of course you are.
I'm going
Knew you
3.
were.
Whoa.
Knew you were.
So when I
like your smutty shit. You're a smut monster.
I was going to say something
Smut
similar,
monster.
but not as good.
I love, smut
This
monster.
bitch.
Sure. All right. I'm going 4, 3. I'm going to continue the trend and go 2. And then I'm plugging 1 in there at the end.
What are you gonna do last?
With
Back
bated
to
breath.
3.
Yeah.
You really would say that 1 was your least favorite?
To watch?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
Fuck you, Michael.
And here's the next question for the panel. We don't have to rank them again. Which one would you say killed the franchise? And I think that for me, the answer is 1. I agree with Brad and I talked off air completely, and I couldn't believe that after rewatching one, I can't believe that there's 3 other movies, and not only that, I can't believe I like the last one the best.
I see your point.
Cool.
I absolutely see your point.
Which one do you think killed the franchise?
Well, if we're going to go that direction, I think 1 killed the franchise. But I think that I would continue to watch them if 3 had in fact been sexy. Like, if they had really gone for it, if they had gone full-blown Skinamax, like, 3 wouldn't have killed it. But in my mind, 3 killed it.
BJ, which one do you think killed the franchise for you?
I think 3 killed it, which is a bummer because I'm a total pervert, so you'd think that I love that movie, and it just did not resonate with me on a level I wanted it to. I think it killed the franchise, but I think number 4 brought it back from the dead. It is the Lazarus of this franchise, if I may, since we're getting all religious about it. But yeah, 3 I thought was a mess.
Is there any reason that this has to be the end of the franchise?
No.
No. Exactly.
No.
So, like, why doesn't Jimmy Lifton listen to this podcast and make a 5?
Because we said that he married his daughter. And we said that the one that he wrote and directed was not at the top of any of our lists.
And we keep calling him the name of a tea bag.
And we keep claiming that his claim to fame is that he won an Emmy for SpongeBob SquarePants. Like, of course he's not listening. And of course he's not giving us money to make part 5.
Fine.
Brad, which one do you think killed the franchise?
I think I would say 3 did. For reasons being of, I think they could have, if these movies would have came out 1, 2, or actually we'll do that later. But I think 3 killed the franchise because I think people that were actually remembering 1 and 2, if it had followers, 3 just completely derails everything. It derails the atmosphere. It derails, kind of even if the movies kind of had creepiness, which they sort of do at times, it takes out the horror element. I appreciate they try to do something new, but it really killed everything. It killed the momentum, I think.
John.
Well, from my reasoning earlier about it being number 4 being like a Buffy episode, I was thinking 4 was the one that killed it. But after hearing these good arguments for 3, I think 3 might have been the one, like Brad was saying, that kind of killed the momentum of everything. And 4 was kind of just, what the fuck, too little too late.
Sean.
Yeah, no, I'd say 3. I mean, it's pretty much almost a majority vote here. But Yeah, no, I'd say 3. If 3 would have brought the sexy, it would have been a different.
Sean, what do you find? What do you find sexy, buddy? Like, what's a movie that you're like, man, that's a sexy movie? Hey, you guys want to watch a sexy movie tonight? Which one are you throwing on?
I really don't know. I would have to think about that.
Rogue One.
No, I mean, I honestly like like the films of Tinto Brass for the most part, like without like not Caligula, but I mean Tinto Brass had a really good eye for like really good like more artistic erotica. Like he was kind of the best of that. So I would say like, you know, one of his films would be something that I would go to, since I really don't go towards anything kind of past that. It doesn't really do it for me. But yeah, I mean, you know, I gotta stop talking because my 4-year-old just walked in.
Ooh.
He can't hear us, can he?
Put him in the earmuffs.
Yeah, okay, good.
Put him in those vinegar syndrome porny earmuffs. Go ahead, Jim. How do you feel about this?
As somebody who has only seen, once again, only seen the first and second movies.
Which one killed it?
It sounds to me like number 3 is the best movie, and number 1 and 2 had no momentum to start with.
So
4
Jim,
sounds cooler than 3. So it sounds like 3 started the momentum, 4 ended it, 1 and 2 never had it in the first place.
Jim likes the motion of the ocean.
So that's going to bring us to the end of the first episode of the Splatcast, which also doubles as episode 9000 of the Screamcast and doubles as episode 21 of the Splathouse. There's a way to canonize all this, but it's not going to make any sense. So we're calling it Splatcast episode 1, and we are towards the end of it. We talked today, of course, about the Mirror Mirror Legacy, which you can watch the first 2 installments of on Jimmy Lifton's YouTube channel. Or, if you're a big balla like Louis Scarface motherfucker, you can go on to Amazon.com and order the out-of-print DVD box set for $40, $60, $80. Depends on if you want it to say collectible, like new, fair, good, used. Who fucking knows? Just throw some fucking money at it and they'll send you discs in the mail. And while you are ordering that Mirror Mirror Legacy box set, which the producers will see no money from, and they cannot produce a 5th one based on the revenue generated by that, you can also order some of our next series of movies. Yes, we will be back with Splatcast episode 2, and we will be looking at the legacy of the Sleepaway Camp films. Now you're like, hey man, I thought you said, this motherfucking podcast, you weren't going to cover the popular franchises. That shit is on Scream Factory Blu-ray. They got the fucking VHS work print dub up on that shit. Yeah, well, you might be right. But here's the other deal, partner. I'm looking at you. Yeah, here's the deal. There is a 4th unreleased film in the Sleepaway Camp series, Survivor, and there is a 5th Isaac Hayes fucking starring movie from Magnet Releasing called Return to Sleepaway Camp, which is totally canon, and we are gonna fucking look at it, and we will watch Bruce Springsteen's Little Sister, and it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yes!
All right, so we're gonna say our goodbyes. This is Mike D from the Splathouse / Splatcast podcast saying adieu, motherfucker.
Go look up Blue Caveman on Indiegogo.
Everybody say goodbye.
Go look up Blue Caveman on Indiegogo. Go look up Blue Caveman on Indiegogo.
What's your name, motherfucker?
My name is Sarah Quakendahl. Go donate to Blue Caveman on Indiegogo.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers.
My name's BJ Colangelo. Go look up a power bomb. Donate to that.
Mike, can you hear me?
Can we hear Brad?
Mike, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Bye.
Sean DeRager.
Listen to the Screamcast. TheScreamcast.com. Check out everything you need to know is there.
Yes, buy some fucking enamel pins. Buy enamel pins. Buy some Coffee Shop of Horrors. Plug your shit. VinegarSyndrome.com. Yay. Powerbomb.com. And how about your mom, Jim Schiller? Could we plug her?
First of all, fuck you, Mike. You dick. And also, yeah, probably, if you wanted to. But you don't, so don't even joke like that. Don't say crack unless you got some.
So for Brad, BJ, Sean John, yeah, I'm going to wear some of those tonight when I go to sleep and masturbate to Mirror Mirror 3. So for Brad, Sean, BJ, John, Jim, Sarah. This is Mike D saying, Chris Hardwick thanks you for listening to this first episode.
Wait, that was too much like the end of a Splathouse episode. You should end it some other way. Do like a rap or something. Do a dance.
Well,
dance.
Do a dance, and they can hear how you look.
Dance.
Thanks for listening.